Painting with Menoth John is presented in Super Legitivision. Super Legitivision, the future of podcasting. It's .com.
Hello, I'm
Menoth John.
and I'd like to welcome you. First of all, let me take just a moment to thank you for allowing me back into your homes. If this is your first time with us, let me extend a personal invitation for you to drag out your
miniatures
and paint along with us each week. Let's go over to the canvas here and let's get started. I believe, every day's a good day when you paint. I believe, it'll bring a lot of good thoughts to your heart. I believe, every day's a good day when you paint. I believe, it'll bring a lot of good thoughts to your heart. Let's build a happy little cloud. Let's build some happy little trees. There are no limits here. You start out by believing here. You can almost paint with anything. All you have to do is practice.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, you can practice all you want. Welcome to your 1 hour long, yes, ladies and gentlemen, a 1 hour version of Painting with Menoth John. This is your opportunity to fully medicate yourself before tonight's presidential debate. Ladies and gentlemen, I am, of course, your host, Mr. Menoth John, and up in the catbird seat, we have the mighty right hand of the podcast, the wing beneath my wings, Mr. John Spencer.
Hey-o!
How the hell are you, John?
I'm good. How you doing?
I am living the dream. I'm excited to be here. We are going to compress 90 minutes of shenanigans into 60 minutes and serve it to you in a food cube of roughly 1 inch by 2 inches by 3 inches, which is the official food cube size of Elite Dangerous. Also with us tonight, we have, of course, you know him as Flight Medic. We love him as Robert Darefsky. Ladies and gentlemen, Robert Darefsky.
Hey, everybody.
Yes, you are from Michigan, are you not?
I currently dwell here, yes.
That is amazing, ladies and gentlemen. Michigan, places where lines can be drawn from and to in straight lines. All right, there you go, folks.
Yes.
We put out a poll this week, John. Were you aware of this?
I was aware of this. I caught it.
Yes, we put out a poll that asked the question, the business, is it too long? And overwhelmingly, people said, yes, it's too long. So we are going to compress the shit out of the business. We're going to still give you the business, but it will be a more condensed and ribbed for your pleasure version of the business. So it's going to be legit. John, were you aware that we also did another poll?
No, I missed the second poll. I feel like I'm slacking here.
Oh my God, you missed the poll of the show. We asked 9 out of 10 doctors, and fuck that 10th guy, have you ever painted a mini for a role-playing game? Because I thought that we would actually do some painting on tonight's show. Well, fool on me. We're not going to do a lick of painting tonight. It's going to be all about the Brushhead Gallery. So, but we still asked the question.
There you go. And most people said yes.
Most people did say yes. In fact, that's a 70-30. That's a strong positive indication that people are painting some miniatures for a role-playing game. I will begin work next episode on a conversion of a model for Foxy Brown for the beer PG. So it'll be super sweet and totally legit. And I will be doing a conversion on it, too. So if you're interested in conversions, tune in next week. And that's what you're going to get a chance to see. So that was our Polish show. Robert, what do you think about that? Have you ever painted a model for an RPG?
No, believe it or not, I have not. I've always wanted to, just never had a reason or opportunity.
Well, here's your big chance. Next week you can grab a model and just paint the shit out of it and say it's for an RPG, and then you can get that monkey off your back.
Sounds like a good idea to me.
Outstanding. We're so compressed in the business, I forgot to do a beverage update. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight I am starting off with, that's right, Jacko Blast. It's pumpkin-spiced rum from the Captain Morgan's family of things, and I hit 165 this week, so fuck yeah, Warlock. I'm going to be drinking that during the show, too. What about you, Robert? What are you having for a beverage tonight?
I am having a nice, crisp ice mountain water.
Nice. That has almost no alcohol in it. What about you, John?
Yes.
Well, I'm going to start off with a shot of Captain Morgan's Cannon Blast.
Oh, snap.
Ooh.
And then I'm going to follow it up with some nice self-filtered water.
There you go. Well, we've got water, and then two kinds of Captain Morgan. So, to all of you out there, and to all the Brushheads that submitted for this quarter's Brushhead Gallery, this one's for you. Hey, Ron.
Ron.
All right, so I already feel like I'm slightly behind schedule with the new compressed version of the business. You know, what we're going to do here, folks, is we are going to feature one particular sponsor each week. You can see the rest of the sponsors. They're down here at the bottom. Also, don't forget, patreon.com/menoffjohn. If you support the show, you'll be supporting the show. And, you know, the first thing that we want to do is we've decided to pick KR Multicase as our official first sponsor that we were going to sponsor in the compressed business. So the first thing we wanted to talk about is the Butterfoam. You know, John, KR Multicase is known throughout the universe for Butterfoam. Were you aware of that?
I was aware of that.
The other one thing you may not have been aware of, though, is that pets also appreciate the smooth, buttery surface of the Butterfoam. For instance, here's Zaza the Bassa with a Butterfoam on her head. You know, most boxers, when presented with the opportunity to be encased in KR Multicase, would not understand that they were in for something as good as KR Multicase. Were you aware of that?
I was aware of that.
That's right. Did you know that not only dogs appreciate KR Multicase, also cats appreciate KR Multicase? Here's a picture of Theory Cat with a piece of Butterfoam on her back. And as you can see, she's luxuriating in the sweet softness of the KR Multicase. Now, not only are tabby cats fans of the KR Multicase, but also tuxedo cats. And here you see the tuxedo cats are so impressed with KR Multicase, the KR Multicase Butterfoam will stand on its end when presented with a tuxedo cat. So it's so soft and buttery, it is capable of sitting sideways on a tuxedo cat. It won't sit sideways for a tabby cat, though, so don't try it. Were you aware of that, Robert, that the differences between the tabby and the tuxedo as it relates to KR Multicase technology?
No, but I'm glad that I learned something new tonight.
All right, so there you go, folks. If you have miniatures that you really appreciate and love, you should put them in KR Multicase, because 9 out of 10 boxers love KR Multicase, and fuck that 10th boxer. All right, there you go. That's the business, folks. We compressed it, and there you have it for this week. Man, that was so fast, John. I don't even know what to do.
You need to tell them about the GoFundMe for JohnCon.
Holy shit! I almost forgot about my own thing. Ladies and gentlemen, JohnCon, it's a thing. As you know, we're gearing up in 2 weeks for JohnCon. It's going to be here on the Twitch channel, so if you're not following this channel, I don't know why you wouldn't be, at twitch.tv/menoffjohn. But if you get over here to the GoFundMe, and I'm going to leave this up here for a while, you know, if you type in that really lousy web address, you could give money to it. And what we'll do is those donations we will turn into canned goods, and we will be giving those to support the food shelter here in Racine, Wisconsin. You know, Racine has got the highest unemployment of any city in the state of Wisconsin, and it's mostly Scott Walker's fault. Scott Walker's a jerk, and we're trying to do the best we can because he hates people that don't have much money. And so we're going to do our best to overcome him by having JohnCon. And so far we've got 14 people showing up, and everybody's going to be donating food, and we're going to be doing War Machine, and we're going to have Guild Ball and board games and Zombicide role play, and I'm going to see about hooking up the camera so that we can we'll try to televise that Zombicide role play game, because that'll be legit. So stay tuned the week of October 22nd for all your JohnCon shenanigans here on the twitch.tv/menoffjohn. Get over there to the GoFundMe, though, and support the show. John, anything else I forgot?
Speaking of Guild Ball, look what I got.
Oh, shit, the Alchemists.
Yep.
Nice, well done. We've actually got some pictures of some Alchemists in the Brushhead Gallery, John.
Indeed we do.
Perhaps you will
Why
find.
don't we start on that?
Let's do that. I've got to do secret things behind the scenes here right now in order to not fuck this up. All right, so we're gonna put that up here, and then we're gonna press this button over here, and there we go, ladies and gentlemen. We are there. This is the Brushhead Gallery for Q3 of 2016. Guys, I know this is at a bit of a frenetic pace here. This isn't the usual, low key, tuned in, turned on version of Painting with Menoth John, because we got shit to do, folks. And this is the largest Brushhead Gallery we've ever done, John.
Yes, it is, and we're trying to do it quick.
Robert, I appreciate you being on the show here with us today because you are of the legitest caliber of painting.
Wow, thank you. That's really humbling, and I love to see people's models of any skill. It's awesome that people send them in.
Yep. So that's what we're gonna do now. I'm gonna start getting the jiggy with it here. That's what the kids say these days, isn't it? Get the jiggy with it. And so I'm going to go ahead, and the first one, we're going to start off with Sarah Chu because she's got food poisoning, and we want her to get to the hospital.
Yes.
So this is this right here. Sarah is blowing the doors off with her protectorate. I'm really loving this. She's got the red there going and using the sanguine with the red kind of along the lines of some of my protectorate as well. But she's kicked it up a notch with that orange. And I'm going to tell you what, that orange that she's putting here on the cloaks, second to none. Thoughts?
I think her reds and her oranges are just absolutely fantastic. I love the shading. The shading and the highlights in that red is just beautiful. And she brings it through into the orange and into the blue. But it really makes the highs stand out.
I like how she's utilized the blue and the grays in the cloaks. A lot of making a model look amazing is getting those colors that they don't contrast, but they complement each other. And she's really knocked it out of the park. John?
Oh, I definitely dig the model. It's very cool.
Excellent. Now this one's going to blow your doors off. We're going to talk now about the choir. The choir is a unit and protectorate that hardly ever sees any table time, and so you may never have seen one of these before. The choir, her choir. Look at the freehand on the scrolls.
It's amazing. It's amazing.
Wow.
It's just beautiful, and she's Sarah and I chat an awful lot during the week, and the thing that she kind of confided in me is that it's mostly just gibberish. It's just dots and squiggles and things like that, but those are the best looking squiggles and dots ever.
Yeah, I mean, it makes me want to pick out the model. Like, what does it say? I got to read that.
Exactly. It did break her soul, however, to do the yellows and the oranges on this unit.
Yeah.
But the yellow on the unit leader looks great.
Oh my God, yeah.
Yep. So easy tip for yellows. Go with a light green underneath it. It'll save you half the time when you're trying to actually get to your yellows. And it'll make you not want to break your brushes.
A light green?
Yes, if you do a light green underneath, because obviously yellow and blue make green, so you've already got the pigments in there.
Okay.
You'll be able to break up your yellows pretty high, and you won't want to throw the models out of frustration.
Do you have a light? Do you have a light green that you recommend, Robert? A particular
I do. I'm a big fan of, and I don't like a lot of their paints, but the Master Series, the Reaper Miniatures, olive green.
Olive green.
It's a good matte. It's very, very light and paints over very well.
Excellent. So there you go. Reaper Master Series olive. So there you go, olive green. Okay. So here now, moving on to Sarah. This is another one. This is a model that for me is very controversial. This is, and we John, we seek out controversy in painting more than any other podcast, I think. And,
absolutely.
We're right on the bleeding edge. I am a not guy with these long banners because I can't pack them, and I think. But she is banner positive with these. In mine, I actually cut them and put them back together so that they're really short. But this is a freaking beautiful model.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Banners really make a model stand out on the tabletop. If you can transport them and make them look good like hers are, then it definitely takes a model up a notch.
Yep, for sure.
Yeah. The banners are fantastic. I love the same technique that she used on the blues and the oranges. The only thing I would recommend to make it even pop a little bit more, Sarah, would be a bright line highlight on the top of those banners, and
There
it
you
would
go.
really just it would bring it up in just a huge amount. But it's a beautiful, beautiful job.
Yep. And Aaron Seneschal is always a model that you're going to get a lot of use out of. So that's a great job there. And then one last one from Sarah Chu. This is a mechanic, obviously. Look at those eyes.
He's great. I mean, I just this I think it sounds weird to say, but I think this is her best model. It just everything works perfectly on that model. All the shading's great. That's amazing.
Yep.
Oh yeah, there's John said it all. I mean, from the top to the base, everything is just fantastic on this thing.
Love the skin. Love the skin around
Mhm.
around the face on the side here by the mask. It's got a very Bane feel to it, which I kind of groove on. Excellent.
Absolutely.
Now we're going to bring on this. These models are going to blow your mind, folks. These are from Brian Latour. I'm not sure that Brian has contributed in the past. John, do you remember seeing his stuff?
I don't, but let's be honest, it's been a while.
It has been a while. So, Brian, if you've contributed in the past, I apologize if they're not springing immediately to mind. But here we see the bombshell converted into the mechanic model. So this is a conversion, including the blowtorch. Love the blowtorch.
Yeah, it's great.
Oh yeah, and just look at the tattoos on the arms. I mean, I've done that model. It's smaller than a Guild Ball model, so that is impressive.
Yep. Look at the spider web on the model's left shoulder. I'm circling it, and then look at then she's got one across on her chest, and then as well on the yes, Jesus Louise, this is just beautiful. Brian, you knocked it out of the park on this one, and I love the purple.
Yeah, the purple, gold, and white is a good combination of color schemes there. Good combination of colors.
Now here's some more from Brian Latour, and this, guys, we've talked about this on the show a number of times. This is where you're going to really kick up your executions is on the basing. I want you to take a look at here. Here we see it. This is a pretty heavily converted decimator. I think it's like parts of torch and parts of I think it's a decimator. Overall, it's a pretty heavy conversion. I'm not even sure what model it represents, but it is cool.
Oh yeah, it's very cool. And I love the way it all comes together. I really like the job they did on the buzzsaw. Something about that just looks very cool. The gold with the metal metallic there.
Yep.
Oh yeah, that is neat, and that base is
Yeah.
phenomenal the way it sets out. And I really like the choice of the red as your contrast color to the purple, because it's still in the same family, but it's striking enough to make you look at it, and that's just fantastic.
Yep.
Absolutely.
A nice little bit of subtle OSL on the face. Really, really nice. And then here's a work in progress. Now, Brian had shared. I think Brian was the one that asked us about: is there a time that a conversion can go too far?
Yes.
And
Mhm.
and we were a little critical. I'd say just a tiny little bit critical. But I mean, this is clearly Harkovich. You've got the Mechanaham doing his thing, but I love the pose. It's very unique. But this is a work in progress. This isn't even done yet.
Yeah, I'd put it on the field.
Look at the Black Ivan. Notice the arm. It's apparently a protectorate arm, which I can't support really much.
It's a protectorate jack on the base, not in very good shape. Well,
That
I
happens.
should call it in very good shape, but
Oh snap!
Hey, like sacrifices have to be made in the name of art sometimes, John. I call it good.
All right. Well, I'm going to give it a pass on this one, so I'll give it a pass. All right. Now we're going to get into Alex Newman, and then we're all going to feel bad about ourselves. So if you have anything to drink, now would be the time to start drinking,
I've
because
seen all these before.
um,
He's local. He's legit.
this is breathtaking. He did this to all of his fire tokens, and that's beautiful.
Yeah.
And then
That is,
now let's take
I'm
a look
gonna
at.
make an army to set his shit on fire just so I get to see him more.
I know, right? Makes you want to play Protectorate, doesn't it, John?
No.
No. Okay.
Mad Hammer, sir. Mad Hammer.
Okay. Here we see I'm not sure what this model is. John and Robert, have you ever seen this model before? This could. Go ahead.
I know exactly what this is because it's local. This is actually a 3D printed model. There's a site you can go to. I don't remember the name of it, where they'll 3D print your idea. They'll design it, 3D print it, and send it to you. This is his D&D character.
Oh, we talked about painting an RPG character, and here we go.
Yep, that's why I thought it was funny.
And
Wow.
and it was totally unintentional, believe it or not.
And he did this whole thing in, I think, 2 weeks-ish, because I saw this model just primed a couple weeks ago.
It's beautiful. This shield
Yeah.
knocks your socks
Oh, yeah.
off.
Oh yeah. Well, the shield, the look at the rust on the right arm, on that right shoulder, on that right shoulder armor is just phenomenal too.
Yeah.
Mhm. And he says it's Hero Forge does that, and the base is amazing on that. It's too bad he got ate by black pudding.
Oh. All right, now continuing with Alex Newman. These are Guild Ball figures. I believe them to be Masons, but I can't say for sure. But he has decided that the people of Guild Ball have remember Dax from Deep Space Nine?
Mhm.
So
Oh, yeah.
they've got the skin colorations like that. If you look, and the freckles and stuff like that, really, really beautiful. This is another example of Alex does a lot with the very high highlights, and you can see how striking they are in these three models.
And they all have no soul.
That's fair. No, his highlights are phenomenal, and it's hard to strike that balance between doing a model for pictures and doing a model on the table. And I'll bet his models look just every bit as good on the table as they do in close up photos.
They do.
And then
I almost feel bad killing them.
and you're going to get the opportunity now that you've actually got yourself some Guild Ball.
That's true enough.
And then this is then again here's the team photo for Guild Ball, and
With the ball, which is very well done.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Yep. Now, folks, what you're about to see ain't even right. These are his morticians, and they are also Guild Ball models, folks. Whether you play the game or not, the models that Steamforged is putting out are ridiculous. They're so beautiful. And here you see one of the characters from the Morticians, and man alive, the work that he's done on this. The expression of the face, the highlighting of the feathers. It's just amazing.
Yeah, it's the cloak is amazing, legit.
Yeah, the cloak. I'm just looking at how many hours that would take, and then you throw in the highlighting that he did on the pants to contrast that cloak is just absolutely phenomenal.
The cloak is bananas. His face is crazy talk. Look at that face. Look how expression. I mean, keep in mind this model is 25 millimeters tall, maybe 30.
Yeah, 25, 30. Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, I mean it's not a big model. It is a small model, and the disdain that he's been able to pull off in that face, it's all emotion, and that's crazy.
That makes me want to punch that guy.
I know, right?
One thing I do want to point out on this model that it's very, very easy to miss, but it really makes everything strike. Is if you see the black lining that he's done, you can see it on the fingers and around, especially around the beard. I mean, it just really makes everything pop.
Yeah. Yep, absolutely. Now we're gonna, as good as this model is, check out the next page with the girl. The expression on her face is amazing, and then the other male character with the goatee. I just, Alex, you make me you what am I doing with a painting podcast? I mean, this is I can't even identify with what this is compared to what I do, but I'm glad you share it with us. At some point,
Absolutely.
Alex, you're coming on the show. You don't know it yet, but you're going to come on the show, and we're going to talk about this.
He actually does know it.
Was he in the
We
chat?
were talking about it.
Is he in the chat room?
No, we were talking about it. He and I were talking
Oh,
about it.
good. He's coming on the show.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of when.
Yeah.
So, John, let's work on that because we need to have him on because this is crazy.
Yeah, he's working on computer stuff. I'll let you know when it's a go.
Okay, excellent. I feel like sending him a computer to make this happen. So this is beautiful, and God bless you, Alex. Thank you for sending these. Now, next up is David Kelly, and I appreciate everything that David says. And this is, I'm going to tell you, folks. Each time that we have one of these Brushhead galleries, we talk about most improved, and because I think that's important. The models that David has sent in, not to say that his other stuff wasn't excellent, but this, I think he's really finding his stride right now with these Infinity models. For me, John, and I know you're the Infinity expert here, the one that's on the lower right hand, the one with the kind of copper-colored sword and the green emblem on the, wow.
Yeah, that's a Panoceana Tikbalang. It's a light tag.
Okay. It's
really cool.
Amazing. And the way that he chose to do the coppers with the silvers and the green and the gray work so well together. And then choosing that slightly lighter green for the emblem, I think, really makes it pop. Robert, your thoughts? Sorry. Go ahead, John. Go ahead, John.
Oh, he's did a good job of taking the normal Pano scheme, which is very blue and white, and that green is actually the color of that particular sectoral army. But he did a good job of taking that and putting it all together and making it his.
Agreed. Robert?
Yeah. I know how tiny and detailful these models are, and even making the attempt is fantastic. I love the color schemes. I really like how he's pulled it off. Great work. Keep going.
Yep.
And it just, yeah, absolutely. I would happily play against these. They're phenomenal.
I also want to highlight the bikes. I love the aesthetic of the bikes, and he's doing such a good job of pulling these off. I know I'm raving about this one particular model down here, but I want to stress, David's stuff across the board is really showing the spark. He's got himself. You're on a roll, but you might want some KR multi-case, honestly, because you're like butter because you're on a roll. So here is a couple of larger army shots showing a couple of different are these different sectoral groups, John, or whatever they're called?
They are different sectoral groups for the Panoceana. It's the greenish one is the Acconcimento, which Matt from Mini Wargaming used to play a lot, and the other one I believe is the Neoterra Capital Lion Army.
Okay. Folks, this is another example of where you're using, your color scheme to pull an army together, and we've talked about that a lot recently on the show. This is another example where you can see how he's made a clear delineation on these different groups.
But they still have colors in common, so if you put them together in a generic army, you'd still be like, oh yeah, they're from the same army. It's still they're sort of from different units, so to speak.
He's even used the same color blocking techniques. So super sweet. Robert?
I think they're wonderful. I love that he's not afraid to use white, and he does it really, really well. The same thing with his reds. I think paint more, keep getting better, and you're going to be blowing us away. We're going to be looking at you like you're Alex Newman here pretty soon.
So the next slide here, I think, has got one of his most characterful models that I've ever seen David do. Really raving about this one. It's the guy in the upper right with the sweet beard and the red hair.
Oh,
everyone should have
Captain
that.
Hakislam? Yeah.
Everyone should have a model that has sweet purple hair, purple red hair, kind of pinkish, and a sweet full brown beard. Kicking.
Well, he's actually got a turban on. It's not a.
That's a
It's
turban.
not a hair. It's turban. Yeah. He's a. Gotta forget the name of the unit, but they wear red turbans.
Oh, sweet.
That's their theme, and he's basically a super soldier. He is their best success. He's basically like Captain America, just he's for Hakislam. Tarek Mansouri. He is super cool. It's hard to give you an idea how big he is until you see that other photo down there, because he's huge.
Nice. He's almost tag sized, isn't he?
He is light tag size. Yeah.
Nice.
He's same with the guy in the other picture, the Alpha Seed Regiment, and the picture on the left. That's actually the new starter set for Hakaslam from Operation Red Veil. That's the Hakaslam part. Those are all the models you get in there.
But I mean, I want to even draw attention to the female model here on the far right of the upper left hand picture. I love the face. Look what a wonderful job he did on that face. I mean, that is a realistic looking face on an Infinity model. That's pretty hot shit right there.
Yeah, I very much like all these. They speak to me a lot because it is actually the army I'm playing.
Yep. So, Dauphin, keep it up. You're our winner of the kick it in the ass trophy. It's unofficial. There's nothing for it, but God bless you. Now this is Dustin is one of my locals. Super sweet guy. One of the few that have been to Casa John so far, and he plays up there at Games Universe, just off of Lover's Lane there, and that's actually the road it's on. Can't make that shit up. But I want to introduce you to some pretty hot looking cricks. And he knows how to take a picture too. Just gonna put that out there.
Yeah.
So his cricks has this purple pink kind of glow, but also it's rusted and tarnished, which for me, when I think about how cricks would treat a mechanical item, that's how they would treat it. They wouldn't give a shit about it. It wouldn't be pristine. It wouldn't be awesome. It would be rusted. And we've got some beautiful examples in Dustin's work this time.
Yeah, and I love the way he worked the runes into the center and side markings for his arc markings. That is amazeballs.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the brush control that it takes to pull off those runes on the banner and on the base is just absolutely phenomenal. And then you look at the way it almost has an OSL to it, especially around the faces. It's just wow. I mean, Dustin is a fantastic guy and an amazing painter.
Yep, Dustin's a really good guy. Really looking forward to him being a part of John Con. And these are some beautiful models. And that guy's a good player too. He's gonna be kicking some butt and taking some names, folks. So if you're coming to John Con, watch out for this guy. Now the next picture here is a couple more close-ups of a bunch of his jacks. And here you see Erebus on the left and Malice on the right in the upper left-hand picture. Love, I got to have him tell me how he does this rusting technique, because this is really beautiful, and it works so well with the silvers that he's chosen.
If I had to guess, and it almost looks like the old school GW sponging, where you take that little black pad that's in the sprue box and you kind of tap it on. I could be wrong. That's what it looks like to me.
I have a sneaky suspicion that Dustin is using some oil washes as well.
Yeah, probably.
So I got a sneaky suspicion about that. So we'll get Dustin's going to be here, and we'll drag him in front of the camera during John Con, because he's got a pass from his wife, and that's awesome. One thing that I want to point out here, folks, is look at the bases. Not only is the model itself beautiful, look at the base work he's doing.
Yep, they're very consistent, very awesome. A little different, but still you can tell, like, from the bases immediately, like, that's all the same army.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Oh, yeah. And that realistic waterwork that he does coming up onto the shore is just so cool.
Yeah.
And then here's another on the next one here. We've got Nightmare, and Dustin, I see your models a lot, but I have to tell you that I didn't necessarily appreciate them as well as I should have. And this Nightmare, the little girl, is striking. And the other thing I want to point out is the eyes of the jacks that he's done up here. It's such an insectoid look that I see so few Crix armies pull off well. It's creepy. I think this is probably the scariest nightmare I've ever seen. Short of one that I saw when I was in Utah they had replaced the little girl with a trencher who had his gun in his mouth and was committing suicide.
Oh wow.
That's cool.
That was a pretty cool model. It's too bad the guy who made the model was such an ass hat. But but this is so creepy, and the insectoid look of Nightmare just blew me away.
Mm-hmm.
And fuck those Mechanothralls, and fuck the mechanics as well, because fuck them. So, but still, so beautiful, Dustin, wonderful. And I fed back to him via email just how striking this was. And here, I'm sorry, go ahead, John.
No, absolutely, go ahead.
And here is what all this stuff looks like. That's actually only 2 models.
Well, I can tell he's got 3 by the way the things are put, because he had 3 in one picture.
Okay,
You
but
see the different tufts of coming out of the water. You can tell there's at least 3.
okay, well, there's at least 3, but this is the best magnetizing job I've ever done. I am not a fan of magnetizing. This is magnetizing done right.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I hate magnetizing models, but if you can pull it off like that, holy cow.
Yeah, so
One thing I do want to say is if you look at that Nightmare, it's really, when you're doing that kind of painting, it's very easy to go, you get towards your last little details and you're like, I'm tired, I don't want to do it. And you can totally see how much effort he put in just in it, even in the brickwork on that thing.
there's no quit in that model at all.
No.
Nope.
So, Dustin, you've got my vote for best painted. Anytime that we're together for voting, I'm voting for you. I don't even care what the hell. You can put a fucking ham sandwich out there and I'll vote for it. So, let's move on then to Kevin Brook. Dustin, thank you so much. So, folks, we love the GW too. I mean, we love to see more GW models. And here are some GW models. Kevin shared these. These are salamanders. And he shared them with us. And I love, love, love the fiery theme of the salamanders. And he has done some beautiful work with the shading from the white to the orange to the dark red. Just beautiful look here.
Yeah, and I like that he did the sort of lava theme, which fits along with their sort of fiery theme. And I love the little scales on the I think that's a captain's cloak.
Just beautiful.
Oh, yeah. I mean, even look at the bottom of the cloak, how he brings OSL into it from the base. And if you look at the sides of the bases where he brings the fire up onto it, it's fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Just really beautiful. Scott, we're into a stretch here now where these are like one slide per person for a little bit here. Scott Kidwell, Scotty and I have been buds for a long, long time, dating back to the Utah days. So, the pictures came across a little bit blurry, but he wanted to stress that this was based upon the color scheme on this one. This is his 5th. This is a Nomad.
Mm-hmm.
This is his 5th Nomad, and this was based on a 58 Chevy that he had in his family. And this color scheme represents the color of that car with the blue, the baby blue, the sky blue, and the white. And I can kind of see through the blurriness a little bit that this is a beautiful model. Scotty, super sweet. I'm glad you sent this in. Thanks for being a continuing part of the show.
Yeah, and it works. I like the scheme. It's very vivid. And people sometimes get too set in the painting everything the same way. Sometimes you can go out there and have a jack with character. It doesn't have to be a character jack. It's written in the back. This is 58, and there you go.
Yep.
That is very cool. In fact, I want to know the recipe for that blue.
That's a beautiful blue. It is.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not arcane blue. It's something different. It's got a little bit something else going on there, and it is beautiful job, Scotty. Good job. Going to Lock and Load recently and seeing Scotty was worth the price of admission. Been a long time since I've seen Scott. So
Cool.
Speaking of GW, here's Gary Smith. Say what you will about GW and all that kind of stuff. Man, they make models.
Oh yeah.
Mm. Oh yeah.
Man, they make
If
models.
if they made rules half as good as their models, I'd be sold.
They're getting there, but yeah, this is a very cool model. Very good bird theme and the very cool Zinch theme to it.
Yep.
Uh,
And his comment on it was, the heck he doesn't care about this niche and all that kind of stuff. What he cares about is a cool model to paint. And that really exemplifies what we're all about, John.
mm-hmm.
Is that a tiger lower body on this thing?
It sure looks like it. It's
Man.
got stripes on it.
So it's like an eagle grabbing a tiger being attacked by a demon of Zniche or something like that?
I think it is a demon that the bottom half's a tiger and the top half is eagle-y because Zinch is very birdy. And then there's some sort of tentacle-y thing hanging on.
Oh, my God.
It's pretty crazy. I haven't seen this one before. It's super legit.
It might even be
that's.
Go ahead, Robert.
Oh, I was just saying that it almost looks like they're fighting over who's getting it. But man, his color choices are fantastic, and his shading and the way he transitions colors is just wonderful.
Apparently, it's a converted griffin, so that's supposed to be a griffin, more sort of like a chaos griffin, I guess, with the spines and all. Trying to get away from that horror. That's cool.
Love it. So, friend of the show and super sweet guy Brett Painter comes up next. Really super wonderful. Brett was part of the Geek Garage back there in Utah, and this is a very flavorful Death Jack right here. Very flavorful. Brett does a lot of work on his models. He's made me things with this kind of smoke effect that he does here, where you take an armature and then you wrap green stuff around it, and he always builds these little skulls into it and stuff. Just beautiful. Brett's a better guy than to play Crix. I just got to put that out there.
Well, no, it's okay now. Crix is supposed to be bad, right?
Oh, that's right. Now Crix sucks, so anybody can play it, and I'm still okay with it. So there you go. God, people, relax. Just relax.
I'll tell you, just looking at the weathering on this thing is phenomenal. Besides the smokestacks and the skull and the souls coming out, and just the weathering and the way he does the bronze is just blows me away.
It turns out Brett's a really good painter, and it's not even because it's his last name. So, and now it looks like Brett's going to be long-term there in Maryland, huh, John?
Yeah, we were talking about it. He had some good news come through. He's going to be long-term. He likes the school systems here better than a lot of the other options. So,
well, God bless you, Brett. I'm very happy. Looking forward to the next time I get to go out to the York plant so I can see you and John and all the folks out there too. To the Maryland peeps. Hey, Ron.
I'm out. Shit.
Ron.
Fuck. All right. Now, the next set of models here are from Patrick Augustine via Rich Brotman. Pat was too humble to send the pictures himself. So these were a commission done by Rich, and these are for Arena Rex. And folks, you're going to see some Arena Rex on the John Con stream. And I'm very hopeful, folks, that when you're watching the John Con stream, we're going to have that GoFundMe up the entire time on the screen. I hope you will pledge during that live stream. But Arena Rex is a game that is got some very astounding models, and it's supposed to be really, really fun. I haven't played it yet, but Rich is going to give me a demo. We're going to live stream that shit, so you can watch it right there here on the Twitches. Look at these models.
Mm-hmm. They're very gladiator. I very, very like they've got the right look.
They sure do. And Patrick is a wonderful painter.
Mm-hmm.
So man, I love everything about those models. And I mean, you talk about basing, and if it's going to be in an arena, I mean that's just right.
And
sometimes simple fits with what you're doing.
Yeah,
it does. And these are Rich has actually built an arena specifically for this game, and it has that kind of same thing. So it's going to blend in with the base really, really nicely. Here's some more. This is a model where the guy is riding a bull with various and sundry other whatnots in his hands. The models could not be more spindly and hard to deal with, but they're together, and Pat has done an amazing job. Patrick's a super sweet guy, and we love him to death. So, and here it is on a bull.
I mean, the way just look at the way he picked out the musculature on the leg on that right picture with the highlights. I mean, that just makes it Wow.
Yeah.
Just enough highlights on the bull to give it the definition, so it looks looks very good.
Folks, you don't know how to do black? Take a look at this. This is a good example of how to do black correctly. This looks like a legitimately black bull. And notice how they've incorporated that little bit of kind of a bluish black into it, because that's so important to doing a good black. I wish I could paint this well. Oh my God! Look at this. It's something from John Spencer, ladies and gentlemen.
I gotta take the quality level down a little bit.
No,
I didn't know that guy painted.
No, he paints. He paints, just not during the show as much, and that's because he's got to keep me straight. John, these look beautiful. You're a Kayazi. I know you labored so hard over these guys, and they turned out great. Good job, buddy.
Yeah, I can do a little more, I think, on the skin and the red. There's a couple bits I could pick out, but they don't really scream to me to pick them out. They are a bit of a labor, but when I got past a certain point, they came together pretty well.
Hey, listen, you have a fully painted Kayazi. You can make it that far. It's all awesome, man.
Fuck yeah. It's one of the two units that gets you an honors badge. The other one, of course, being NIS.
I have to send pictures in. I have to wash them now.
Yeah, you got.
I do like the dwarf jacks a lot better. They're a lot more fun to paint.
Oh God, yeah, they're super. No, okay, you got to help me here, John. How the hell do you tell a blaster from a gunner?
The circular drum on the top of the gun.
So circular. Okay, so
the one over here on the left is a gunner. Then a blaster is the next one over here, because it's got a little circular drum on the top of the gun. Then the last one over on the side, that's a little shorter, is a gunner again.
Okay, so you don't see the magazine on the gunners.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, you don't. You only see it on the blaster.
Super sweet. Oops. Okay.
Cool job, man. I thought you were going to go with the answer of, you got to turn them over and look underneath, but I like yours better.
Good
Sorry,
answer,
I was giving an actual answer.
Fair enough.
Okay, so I assume, John, that these next models are Malifaux?
One's Malifaux, because it's the same one twice, and the other two are Infinity.
Okay, so the Malifaux one, super sweet job on the purples.
Thanks. It took a little work, is washing and dry brushing and washing and dry brushing and getting it right.
Did the pumpkin come standard, or is a pumpkin a conversion?
It's the Field of Screams bases.
Oh, okay.
From Secret Weapon.
Nice. It's a wonderful pickup because the purple and the orange work so well together.
Yeah, and I like that the little bit of the green eye came in on the one picture. I got to take a little better pictures, but you can sort of see the green eye in the front view.
Okay.
Yeah, you can make it out.
And part of that, John, is how I chose to expand the picture and do a bunch of other frickin' editing that I do when I throw these presentations together. So
no worries.
And then the Infinities. Tell me about these Infinity models, John.
Well, the first one is Wrist Licker, so named because it looks like he's licking his wrist. He's nominally a sort of stealthy hacker. He's still in progress. I still need to do some work on a little bit of work on his base, and I need to do some washes and highlighting on him. All the highlighting I did was on his hair, which you can actually tell, which makes me happy.
Yay!
And then the other one is a Yan Yan. She's a space pirate. I still do a bunch of work on her base and her, but I figured I'd give you some other pictures.
Love
some
her
work
face.
in progress.
Love her
This
face.
is good to show, like, these were fairly quick. You could field these models like this. You'd be okay. Just base paint jobs.
I've seen worse models than this on the field, no problem. John, you're doing great. It's wonderful to see you out there giving that paintbrush the old business. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm trying to get the time.
And John, one thing I want to say on the use is you took a technique on the dry brushing on that purple and you did it beautifully. And that's one thing I'll tell to any new painter is work on a technique till you have it down. Be it whatever it is, and if you can do it well, you'll make a model look beautiful just with that one or two techniques.
I took it one level higher than I was planning on originally, and I think that was the right choice. It definitely gave just a little bit of detail. Dry brushing is harder than people think. It's easier and harder. To do it well, it's hard.
And it takes courage.
You knocked it out of the park, man.
And it takes courage. I mean, grabbing that really light color like you did and to do that dry brush, super courageous, and it really worked out for you. Then there's some jerk named Robert Darefsky.
Ah, yeah, that guy.
Yeah.
Well, these are spectacular. and breathtaking and all kinds of frickin' adjectives.
Thank you.
So this is the new Gator War Beast, which is I forget what the frick it's called.
This is the Blind Walker.
Blind Walker. Okay. In fact, I need to get my happy ass up to the game store because I happen to have bought some Gator models here recently because I might as well have a minion army. Why not? This is beautiful.
Yeah.
What is that yellow that you're doing?
Wow. Okay, so that was a request from the client. He wanted an albino gator. So I had to figure that out, and that's about 6 different colors. It started with a old GW bleached bone, then brought up to jackbone, and then up to khaki, and then up to the Vallejo model color light skin tone. And then had to bring it down with a flesh wash and then a couple of coats of sepia oil wash to get that yellowish orange look to it.
Jesus.
So I plan on taking about 7 to 8 hours on this model, and I wound up being over 30.
Wow.
It looks amazing, though, man. It looks amazing.
This is breathtaking work, Robert. As usual, it's not only red and green; he also does yellows. We'll work that into your future advertisements. Let's move on because I'm way behind. Turns out we're at 31 of 47 slides, but we're not going to hurry through this stuff. Fuck Donald Trump. So this here is Ayanna Sans Holt, and I love you've pulled off a satin look with this picture. It looks like that satin finish to the fabric. Tell us about it.
Well, this was a painter who worked for a miniature company. It challenged me to get single figure models in under 3 hours, and so this was my first attempt. I did her in about 2. The satin on the cloak is just basically, it was feathering, and then a gloss coat followed by a very light matte coat to bring it down a little bit.
Wow. Okay. That's an effect I've got to remember. If I ever want to do a cloak like that, that's amazing. Great job on Ayanna. I wish I got to use her more often. Because she doesn't do shit for anybody but Mercs anymore.
No, she's still pretty.
Oh, she's gorgeous. Now, I'm going to move on to the Robert. Fantastic work. Thank you for sharing your work with us. John, thank you for sharing your work with us. I managed in my own happy-ass way of not getting any pictures taken of any of my shit. So none of y'all are going to see any of my shit tonight. But that's fine. I'm not near as good as the painters that you are looking at. So I want to highlight, I want to tell a story about Sam Shockey, who is our next painter. Sam had a stroke. And that's a big deal. The pictures, the cricks you are about to see are post-stroke. So what he's been doing is he's been rehabilitating, doing the things to kind of get his motor skills back as best he can back to where he was. Ladies and gentlemen, if I ever have a stroke, I hope I end up this talented. This is, of course, Terminus. And he has not only painted Terminus beautifully, he's converted Terminus to not look stupid.
Yeah, I almost didn't recognize him. He's freaking amazing. I was like, is that a GW model?
Yeah.
Right? It just needs a couple more skulls, but yeah.
This is beautiful.
Skulls on him.
Sam, God bless you on your recovery from your stroke. You are doing great. Congratulations, man. This is one of the prettiest, more or less stock Terminuses I've ever seen. Thank you for converting his stupid arms. And, you know, the wings are beautiful. I want to show you that on the next slide here. He's got one of his biothralls, one of his mechanothralls, and one of his brute thralls. Folks, hats off to Sam. Great work. Keep it up, buddy. You know, this is absolutely beautiful work. Good job.
Wow, man, that is awesome. Everything about his models are phenomenal. Are just absolutely fantastic.
Post.
Yeah, they look like undead stuff. He's got the like they're freshly dead. He's got the redness around the wounds and all. It's very cool.
Oh yeah.
And I love I mean, he's got the redness around the wounds, and it's a little bit pronounced, which means it's going to stand out from a little more distance. Fantastic. Absolutely perfect. And this was pre-stroke. So the Signar, this is from 2014. And so what Sam is looking at is he's working his way back to where he was with these models. Sam, you are well on your way. You got this, buddy. Between all of us here at Painting with Menoth, John, hey, Ron, this one's for you.
Ron.
Here we got Disco Thunderhead. We love Disco Thunderhead. Super legit and totally sweet. The thing I love about this model is how characterful it is with basically 3 colors. It's bronze, blue, and white, and that's all there is to it, folks. And
look at the chipping. Look at how he created depth on the chipping with the black lining.
Yep. Super great. Sam, fantastic job. Wait till I move to the next slide. Gonna blow your mind. Sam, I don't know that I've ever seen yellows and oranges this well done.
Yeah, wow. That's
that blending and the transitions to that is wow.
That might be the best standard I've ever seen. And
yeah.
The Sig, it pains me to compliment a Cygnus, but that is beautiful.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, this is like something you aspire to. It's I would be proud to put an army that looked like that on the table. Holy moly,
Sam!
His whites are just look at how clean his whites are.
Yep. Sam,
wow.
Sam, you got this. You are going to be back here in no time. You just keep up the good work. You keep on eating your vitamins, just like Hulk told us. Hulk Hogan. You just keep on eating them vitamins, and you're gonna be back in no time. And this is striking. This is I believe it's a Lancer.
Yeah, it's an old metal one. It looks like a little conversion.
A little bit of conversion going on. Got a beautiful jewel going on down there in the lower part. Dude's
Great arc note.
Yeah. Love that arc note.
And I love the pose. I mean, honestly, this goes to show you how a little change of pose, I think you just switch the ends of the spear and repose a little bit, can go a long, long way to making a model your own and look amazing.
Yep. Absolutely beautiful.
Yeah.
Sam, if I could offer you one piece of advice, something that doesn't necessarily work for me, but maybe it works for you, is the base. I would clear coat that with a matte, because the shininess of it takes my eye away from the rest of how beautiful your model is. And that's just me. Maybe it's an effect you're looking for, and then in which case, fuck me. But I think that a matte on the base, a base shouldn't draw your eye. The rest of this amazingly beautiful model should draw your eye. So, just a thought. Hey, David Carl sent us a picture.
Oh, wow. How does he come on the show? He sends us pictures.
I know, right? That guy. This is his Alchemist team, and I believe that is Veteran Catalyst on the right-hand side, upper corner. So that's some cool stuff right there. So, yay. Dave, I think. Well, I'm gonna be in Seattle next week. I might grab me some Guild Ball and bring it with me, and maybe you can walk me through how to fucking play this game, because Brett Painter has played with me a couple of times and has tried, and maybe you'll finally be the one that breaks it through for me. So, but this is beautiful. Look at the flames on that guy in front.
Oh yeah, those are great.
I'm loving those bases too. Wow.
Yep. David Carl, super legit guy. Now this is from superfan Nick Roop. This is Nick Roop is I met him through the beer machine, folks, and this is how much you can do with gray. This is like a study in what you can do with gray. It turns out gray
it's
is
a great job. Just a little bit of bronze in there, or bronze or gold for some of the rivets. Just just enough color and a bunch of different shades of gray. It looks legit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it a lot. I really like the contrast of just the rivets. It really makes it stand out.
Yep, really pops. Nick, super great job. Nick Roop visited me at the Reserve Roastery last time I was in Seattle with his little therapy dog, super sweet little dog, and because the Reserve Roastery is super sweet and totally legit, they let the dog in. So hats off to them. All right, so now it's time to introduce you to another guy you don't know that you should know, and that is Vladimir Bobrov. No, that is not Vladimir Bob Ross. That is Vladimir Bobrov. Vlad sent me his stuff at just past the deadline for last Brushhead gallery. So this has been sitting and cooking for a long time. Folks, this is how you do black. It's really beautiful.
Yeah.
Brush Chewer and Vlad, I think, are doing two of the nicest Krios 1 models I think I've ever seen. What are your thoughts on that, Robert?
Everything is beautiful. I love the reds. I love the shading up into the higher. I like the use of grays into the blacks. The color choices are just fantastic. I mean, even the bronzes on that mace are done really, really well. And for folks, if you're looking at how to highlight, that bronze is just textbook classic. The way he hits it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And those eyes, that you can only see the one, but I imagine the other one looks the same way. That eye is amazing.
Yep, good job.
It's so vivid and stands out.
Yeah.
So
and especially if you're going to do a highlight and it's going to be, you've got all this red and all that black, and then that bluish white is really going to pop.
Mm-hmm.
So on the next picture for Vladimir is when I learned that Lilith 2 doesn't have no goddamn clothes on.
Yeah, apparently not.
Huh.
So she's got steel booby holders, and while I don't have a problem with that, it was not what I envisioned. But Vlad also wanted to encourage me through these pictures to look at his bases, because he has done some really creative things with the cork style base that I have not ever thought of. Look at the work that he's done on bringing it from that dark kind of reddish brown color all the way up to that very light white color. And then I love the unique way that he's done the arc markers, where he has done kind of a shading, so it kind of fades off to the side, almost like there's a motion involved.
Yeah, and if you look at the base again, you notice that it's actually darker on the top and all, and then the sides are more the reddish, and they both highlight to about the same color, but it gives a good definition on the side there. You can sort of tell where the side is, where the top is. It's very cool. Looks very, very, very realistic.
Indeed.
Oh yeah. I mean, usually you can look at a base, and no matter how good it is, you're like, oh yeah, that's cork. And this one, I didn't know it until you said it.
Yeah, I have no idea what it could have been. Anything.
Yeah.
And on the War Beast up in the right hand side, the musculature. This might be one of the prettier. What is that? A Scythian, or not a Scythian, but a
Carnivian
that I've ever seen. Just base out of the box, beautiful.
Yeah.
Rumor on the streets has it that John Madrano, who is coming to John Con, is going to give me his Legion. So we'll see how that all works out. I might be back in the Legion business.
More armies, more fun.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And here we see Nicaea. Very beautiful Nicaea. Love the highlighting on the grays and stuff. These darker reds and black to gray on Protectorate, I think, is the right way to go. We're seeing so many examples of that between Vlad and between Brush Tour. I think it's the right way to go, folks.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, I think it's much better than the studio scheme.
Yeah.
I think it really does the models more justice.
And now I'm going to introduce you to the best looking cock I've ever seen. This is some sweet cock right here. Not
The corollary is amazing.
the corollary is literally the best use of pinning wire I have ever seen. I've seen people try to pull off lightning before, and it just don't work. This works,
Yeah.
and the reason
Oh, that works well too.
and the reason it works is that he painted it correctly as far as where the bright points would be and the not so bright points would be based on the angle of deflection of the lightning at that point. And then the very subtle OSL. It's very subtle, but done correctly between the OptiFX directives and the corollary. Super beautiful. And I don't know that I'll ever see a gremlin swarm on the table.
Oh, they're actually legit, dude. They're actually legit.
And I know I won't ever see any as fun as these are.
No, these are great.
No, that's just cool.
The jaws are tremendous. The detail and stuff like that. Vlad, hats off to you, buddy. I hope you're watching the show because I know you submitted these a long time ago, and they are beautiful. Great job, man.
Yeah, it's. Oof.
And then there's this guy named John Snodgrass.
Oh yeah, that dude.
That guy.
That's
So he did Beast 09, and they're beautiful.
Yeah.
So this is what you should aspire to. An ice axe looks like an ice axe. I mean, that looks like ice. And
yeah. Everything, even the freehand on it is fantastic.
yeah, he did crackled ice in the whole 9 yards.
You know, if you're gonna take, this is how you take an old model that's kind of boring and static and make it look really good.
Yep, and then we've got Butch 1 on the next one. I love how he's carried over the ice axe theme. He's
I think
continuing.
that's 2. Isn't that Butcher 2?
Oh, that's Butch 2.
That's two.
That's Butch 2. He's picked up that ice axe. Lola has it now, so that is something that's going to tie his army together.
Mm-hmm.
And there's all kinds of different armies laying in a heap underneath him. Let me tell you. And then
You
fucking
know,
ruined.
he pulled that off. That base is one of the biggest pains in the butt to paint because it all just kind of blends together.
Yep.
And he did a fantastic job picking that out.
And then
Oh,
there's Ruin, the next one.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
An
man.
amazing model. He does it justice.
God, Ruin makes me want to play Khador. I've had Khador though, and I honestly I don't need another army. I should probably get good at the ones I have. And this Ruin is beautiful. I mean, God, the arcane blue in the mace, and then the Orgoth shield and all whole 9 yards. And the thing that I love more than anything else is the shoulder pad. The green.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's such a contrast to the other colors that are being represented. It pulls your eye and says, "What's that?" And then you look at it and you go, "Oh my God, what's that?" It's like souls coming out of his shoulder and stuff. It's just beautiful. And then
Man, he did a.
and then Snodgrass did Vlad 1, or was this Vlad 2?
That's two. That's
Vlad
two.
Vlad 2. And man,
Everyone felt like theirs wasn't good enough then.
Yep.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so beautiful.
The base especially, holy moly.
Yeah, that is a wonderful, wonderful Vlad. And I really like that he kept the shoulder pads on it. You see a lot of them where people just toss them now, but I think shoulder pads really make the man.
They are a slight bit excessive, but making them gold, you're just like you're going, what up? They're excessive. I don't
Yeah.
care.
No,
like
there's nothing but win there.
So the last couple that we've got are a couple last minute entries. I mean, between Snodgrass and Mr. Jeff Brommel. You know, this makes me want to go buy GW shit.
Mm-hmm.
These
Dwarves are legit.
The dwarves
Yeah.
are just beautiful, and they're on a round base. That means they're Age of Sigmar.
Yep.
So there are dwarf armies available on Age of Sigmar.
Oh yeah. They've done a good job of getting a bunch of new armies. They had rules for everything. They just weren't really well thought out. It's like, here's rules. Go play, have fun. Yeah, but now they're getting to where they're doing more balanced and interesting stuff.
Yep. I could play dwarves in Age of Sigmar. I think I'd have a hell of a good time with dwarves. These are beautiful, and then we have on the right hand side probably salamander tanks.
No, it's not salamander because it's got the wrong icon, Aurora chapter or something like that.
Okay.
It's a razorback. It's pretty cool.
Cool. I don't know much about GW.
It's nice.
Yeah.
And folks,
It's a very good green. I like that vivid green.
That is your Brushhead gallery, and I'm going to bring it on back here to the face cam. There you go. There's your Brushhead gallery for Q3, bitches. We're running a little bit late. Don't really care.
Yeah.
We are probably going to eschew the media section for this week, John, but we are going to come back next week with a vengeance, much like Die Hard. And
So you heard it here first. It's our movie club, Die Hard with a Vengeance.
Oh, I'll watch that shit for sure.
Oh, so will I.
Yeah, I fucking love that movie. That is a zero challenge effort right there. So this is a compressed version. Thanks everybody. Again, Brushhead Gallery. Thanks everybody for being a part of the thing. John Con, as you see right here, if you want to join the GoFundMe, I'd appreciate it. The people of Racine would appreciate it. We're gonna be kicking some ass and taking some names at the food bank, and we're gonna send them your love. So, John, is there anything else we wanted to get out while we are still doing this particular show?
Now, just a reminder: to Co-Host Corner 12 is going to hit in not this Friday, but the Friday after. It's going to be free for everyone, so go look at our website to find that, or iTunes, wherever you get your podcasts from. It'll be for free for everyone because I love you all.
Yep. Robert, thank you so much for being a part of this.
Oh, thanks for having me. I love looking at everybody's stuff, and it's awesome to be a part of it.
I would certainly love to have you back again in this segment for next quarter.
Sure, absolutely.
Excellent. Folks, we can't do this without y'all. And this is, I think, kind of the reason why this show exists, is to celebrate the awesome work that you guys are doing. I hope to take some pictures next time of my own stuff. I just ran out of time, to be honest with you. I'm getting ready for John Con's a thing, as it turns out. And we'll do more of that next time. So on behalf of Mr. Robert Darefsky, he's super sweet and totally legit. Flight Medic Painting, he's not going to paint anything for you. He's too busy. But he's super sweet, and you can draw lines from Michigan to other parts of the universe. And it's, stuff. Green, red, colors he knows how to do. And,
Yellow.
Of course, yellow. Oh, my God, he's good at yellow. He paints the best yellows. Anyway, so that's Mr. John Spencer. He's with us every week because he's got the patience of Job. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I'm Menoth John. We'll see you next week here on Painting with Menoth John. Good night, everybody.
Bye.